This video was brought to you by Noble Knight Games. More about them at the end of the video. Hey everybody, Kimberly here, and I'm excited to share with you Stonespine Architects. This was one of the games on my most anticipated list of 2024, and I've got my hands on a copy, but not just one copy, I've got a second one that is fully shrink wrapped, and I am ready to send it to you in this giveaway video. And what I want you to do, pay attention to the video. I'm going to go over the game, give you a feel for it, talk about those really cool mechanics here, and then at the end of the video, I'll let you know how you can enter free to win this game and check it out yourself. So in this game, players are architects of their own dungeon, and they want to populate it with some really cool, fun, thematic things. And what they're going to do is play 4 rounds. In the very first beginning of each round, players are going to get cards, and these are going to be path cards that they're going to construct into their dungeon. They're going to start on level 1, and they have 4 different spaces that they can play along the top of their entrance. And they're going to have a particular entrance that comes in. Everybody's going to have a different card that's going to have special things that they want to go for in certain places in their 4x4 dungeon grid. So what you're going to do is you're going to construct a card from your hand. You're going to take one, then you're going to pass the deck, and you're going to pass either clockwise or counterclockwise based on what turn it or what round it is. And then you're going to build that card. You're going to construct it. You're going to place it in one of the 4 spaces. And once you've placed in one of those 4 spaces, let's say I pick this card and I put it here, I now only have 3 more spaces to pick from for that round as I take the next card from the player to my right or my left, depending on that clockwise, counterclockwise passing. Then I'm going to look at those cards. I'm going to pick one. We're all going to simultaneously wait and then play our card. This is all simultaneous play and card drafting. So that's going to be the construction phase of every round. You're going to do that 4 times. And then there's going to be the improvement phase. You're going to count up all of your gold and treasure. The first thing is gold in that particular row, and treasure from that or any previously played row. So treasure chests count every single round, which is something to keep in mind. The highest count of gold is going to go up on this market track over here, this gold track. That person is going to get priority in purchasing any improvements that they get to place into their dungeon. And these improvements have a cost, which you pay with the gold you just earned. But the cool thing here is there's a pecking order. And when you're still at the top of the gold track, kind of like a turn order time track, you get to go again and spend more gold, but you have to take one full turn or action before you evaluate how much gold you have left. Now let's say you don't want to improve anymore, or you can't. When it comes to you, you can drop out and take a challenge card. And challenge cards are amazing. It's a way to earn victory points, and you only get to do that in the first 3 rounds. And those challenge cards are laid out at the beginning of every round so players know what they're going for. That's going to be your improvement phase. The last thing is cleanup phase. You're just going to discard all the markets. You're going to put your tokens back to 0. You're going to look at the priority of who went out first is going to be able to go first the next round. And if you ever tie for gold, priority is broken by this priority track. So you get to go. It's a really, really helpful part of the track in the game. And you're going to get new cards over there for the challenges. Then you're going to draw up 5 brand new cards for every player in their hand. And then you're going to play your second round, do it again, 3rd, and then 4th. And so that's going to be the game. This is a 45 to 60 minute game that plays 1. Yes, there is that solo. You're going to play with these cards right here. And it goes all the way up to 5. And for the most part, you've got that simultaneous play and drafting in that first phase of construction. And there's really just so much fun to be had in just the construction phase because you're really just looking at your own dungeon. You have a couple things to keep in mind. You have a personal card. This is going to be your personal goal card here. How many items of your required 8, it's not required, it's of course just a great thing to get all 8, but this is going to be, you have to get a particular image here. It's a type of card. You have to get a green blob here. You have to get the purple, slimes, purple slimes. If you have a kobold, a treasure chest, and then again, there are 2 different types of cards. You have kind of like a dirt card That's going to be the brown symbol, or you're going to have like a stone card. So what is your dungeon made of, essentially? That's going to be your player card. And the more you get on the track of 4, 5, 6, 7, or 8, the higher your victory point will be. So you want to place certain cards in certain places in your dungeon specifically. Then there's going to be some global goals. The first one is this card out here. This is going to be the goal card for everybody, and it's randomly decided. You just shuffle up the cards, which means every time your goal is going to be different. And it's going to be based on your pecking order of how many things. So this is Dripping Hollow. Have the most slimes in your dungeon. If you do, you get 15 points compared to second place, which is 9, and then third place is 5. So this is sitting out there the whole game, and in your entire dungeon, you're going to count that up at the end. That's another thing to keep in mind. What cards are you keeping from your hand that you're going to draft and then construct into your dungeon? And then lastly, there's challenge cards. And those challenges cards are really cool. And you want to get the one that's going to bank you the most victory points. And since everyone's going for something slightly different aside from the goal card here in the center, you might not be competing for the same cards, but if there's one that's really good out there, you might want to go for it. And it's about keeping a continuous path with a particular picture of an icon, maybe getting kobolds or traps, getting stars and treasure chests, and then maybe just constructing in all 4 corners of your chamber. So there's going to be 4 corners of a chamber that can have items, and that's where you add the items from the market that you get. If there's an empty space on your board, you can place it down and it becomes that item that you add to it, in addition to the icons that you can see that are already pre-printed on there. So you might be looking at your cards going, well, I like the room. It's either stone or it's dirt. You might like the gold that's at the bottom because, again, gold is going to help you in pecking order to get to the market items. You might look at the configuration of your path. Is it the right configuration that you need to keep a continuous path from your entrance all the way to your exit? While it's not necessary for you to ever connect paths when you play cards down, one at a time, filling up all the first 4 spaces of your row, which is a whole round, you probably want to, because the more you have a continuous path, or even the branching paths, as long as you can see your entrance, you're going to be able to count those rooms at the end of the game. So they're called dungeon paths. You gain 1 victory point for each chamber connected to the entrance, and 1 star victory point for each chamber connected to the exit. And if you have them connected to both, you essentially get to have double points, which is really, really good. So there's a lot to look at. You have the kobolds and you've got the little critters. I forget what all their names are. They're just lovely, classic. Oh, there it is. You have gnolls and goblins and kobolds, ooze and slime. And then you have all kinds of traps. So there's 5 monsters, 5 traps. And you're just trying to figure out what's the best plan for me. But you also know I'm going to be passing these cards to the player to my left, and they're going to look at it and you're going to say, what do I want to keep from them? Like, what's the best thing for me? But also maybe what can I keep from them? And of course, the player to your right is doing the same thing. So that decision period during the construction phase is really, really important. And it's all what you're doing, but you're interacting with everybody to your right and left. And I think that that amount of interaction is just really, really delightful. And you get 5 cards dealt, so there's always one that's not used. So you do have a little bit of a choice, especially when it comes to the last card or cards that are passed to you for your last pick, because you get to pick 4 cards for each round, which of course comprises your 4x4 grid. This has so much replayability as part of it because the challenges are all going to be different. The main goal is going to be different. Every single time you have a market, those are going to be different icons that come from the bag, different chits for the monsters and for the traps. You're always going to draw different cards, and you're always going to have a specialty like blueprints card that starts you off with a totally different goal. But they're all well balanced and give players just a little bit of competition for the necessary basic items. Now there's something really cool as a bonus that you're going to get with this if you enter, and it's going to be the Stonespine Architects Shrines and Fountains mini expansion, and it gives you all these cards to add into your deck of cards here, which is a massive stack of cards, and they have shrines and fountains at the center So in addition to the 4 items you can have on the 4 quadrants of each of your cards or your chambers, you can have fountains and shrines, and they give you just a little bit more to play with, just a little bit of a twist and something really special. You get to play it, essentially, you get to when you play it down, you get to have that thing once. So it's a one-time immediate effect that is going to rejuvenate your game and maybe give you an opportunity. So this is going to be part of it right here. I'm so excited. I'm so excited. So there is just a ton to like here, and the game is so fast. You can play this under an hour, and I just find that it's so the perfect amount of player interaction, and it just has a nice amount of puzzling. Where do you put your paths? Where do you collect what creatures and what items? What are you taking during the challenge, during that phase when we're doing the improvement phase? Just a lot to like here. So I'm excited to be able to give this out to someone for free. All you need to do is just post in the comments below. What does this game sound like to you? What's the coolest feature? What mechanic is really drawing you in? What about the theme sounds interesting to you? Just put it in the comments below. 1 person, 1 entry, and you have to be within those contiguous United States for me to send it to you just affordably. It's the only way I can get it out since this is just coming straight from me to you. I'm excited to share the love though, so you just gotta let me know what's going on. I'm going to be revealing the winner 1 week after the airing of this video. So what you have to do is just make sure you share this with your friends. Let them know. Everybody can enter, and I'm going to let them know in my YouTube blog comments, my kind of updates for my channel. So make sure to check back within a week, and you'll see I'm going to announce the winner there. So yay! Loving this. Can't get enough of Stonespine Architects. It does live up to my anticipation of a super cool 2024 game. So that's going to be it for me, and I will see you later, folks. Bye!
Here at Noble Knight Games, we've been carefully growing the world's largest selection of board games, role-playing games and dice, war games, miniatures and paints, card games, and more. Going on 25 years now. Our rustic castle contains more game and hobby goodness than you can shake a stick at. Complete with careful packaging and the finest customer service the land can provide. You can buy, sell, trade from anywhere in the world, just like nature intended. Noble Knight Games.